Hi, this is Jo from Jo Creates. Today I'm going to show you how to do a simple cable pattern like this one here. This one's made up of cabling behind and cabling in front. So I'm going to start by showing you how you would cable behind. Simply, the first thing we're going to do on this row is we're going to purl 4 stitches. I'm going to purl 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to purl 4 stitches, and now I've got to the space where I want to make the first cable. So I'm going to drop that needle, pick up this needle. This is my cable needle. It's got this bump in it here which allows the stitches to stay on it when you let it go, so you don't need to stress about it. This is cabling behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 3 of these stitches purlwise and slip them onto this cable needle here. This is what I know as a cable 6 behind. Some people call it a cable 3 behind. 6 for me because it's 6 stitches total in the cable, 3 for some people because these 3 stitches are the ones that are actually held behind or in front. So this is a behind cable, so we're gonna, now we slip them onto this here, what we're gonna do is hold these 3 stitches behind the work like that. I'm then going to leave that alone. I don't need to worry about that. They're on there, they're staying on there, they're not going anywhere. So I'm going to pick up my 2 knitting needles again, and I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches over here without the cable needle getting in the way too much. Like that. So now I've got, as you can see, 3 stitches here with a little hole, and the 3 stitches here on this needle like that I've just knit. So what I'm going to do now to make the twist is I'm going to drop this needle, and I'm going to pick up my cable needle and this right hand knitting needle here, and all I'm going to do is knit the 3 stitches from the cable needle like that. I'm going to put that down. I'm just going to finish this row and then we can have a look at what I've done. So just to finish off, I'm going to purl 4. The reason we purl is that the cable is done as a knit stitch, and so it needs to stand out from the material, and so as you'll know from ribbing knits and purls, the knit stitch will stand up and the purl will go behind. So I just slide this along here. So you can see here is the twist that I've just done. So these 3 needles here, these 3 stitches here, sorry, have gone behind these 3 stitches here now, and it's twisted across. So that's creating this pattern here. So that is how you do the cable bit of the cable 6 behind, cable 3 behind. So I'm ready now to do my cable 6 in front. I've knit up from the cable 6 behind that we did here. I've just knit a couple of rows. If you have a look further up the page, it will show you how to do those other rows, or your pattern will tell you what you need to do. But basically, to do the cable 6 in front, it's almost exactly the same as the behind, only you hold it in front. So I'm going to start again by purling the first 4 stitches. That's 4. Again, I'm going to pick up my cable needle, drop this right hand needle here, and I'm going to slip 3 stitches purlwise onto my cable needle like that. But instead of holding it behind my work, this time I'm going to let it hang down in front of my work like that. So these are the next 3 stitches. I'm just going to let it hang there, or best it will. And I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches on this needle here. 1, 2, 3. Again, drop your left hand needle, pick up your cable needle, and all you do is knit the 3 stitches that you put on your cable needle earlier, like that. Drop your cable needle. Most annoying thing about cable knitting is finding somewhere to put your cable needle that doesn't get lost in between rows. You won't need it every row. And I've purled across the last 4 stitches there, so let's turn it around and have a look. Sorry, not turn it around, so the right way around. So there you go. As you can see, this pattern is just going to continue going up like this, backwards and forwards. So that's a cable 6 back and a cable 6 front for you. The final thing I just wanted to say to you about cabling is the way that you coordinate your cable behind and your cable in front will make the pattern different. So I've just knit a little bit further up here, and what I've done here, this bottom bit you saw me do earlier, this is cabling behind and cabling in front, cabling behind and cabling in front. And that creates this swirly pattern like this up your work, which might be what your pattern requires, might be what you feel like doing. Personally, I quite like it when you make this twisty pattern here. As you can see, this bit here is more like a spiral. I've just done 3 to show you here, and all I've done is these are all in fronts. So rather than doing 1 behind, 1 in front, 1 behind, which creates this pattern, you can, if you do them all in front, it'll end up with more of a twist like this. The same would work if I'd done all of these behind. It doesn't particularly matter, as long as the point I'm making is as long as they're all the same, either all in front or all behind. If you want to get that kind of more twisted pattern, if you want this wavy pattern, then do a behind, an in front and a behind. Your pattern will tell you what you want to do, or if you're experimenting, just try out a few different options and see what you like best. The other thing I think to say is what I've shown you here is a cable 6, which is these 6 stitches here. This same technique will work for any even number of stitches. The reason it's got to be even is you obviously want to hold the same number behind as you've got to do in front, otherwise you'll end up with some kind of wonky cable. So if you wanted to do hold 2 behind and then knit 2, you'd end up with a narrower cable, but that would work. Or if you wanted to go even bigger and you wanted to do 8, you could do that, and you could do 8 and it would be even wider. So again, your pattern will tell you, but if you see it's a cable 4 front, cable 4 back, and you think, oh, I don't know how to do that, I only know how to do a cable 6, don't worry, you do know how to do that. It's exactly the same technique. The only difference is the number of stitches that you'll hold behind and the number of stitches you'll knit, and therefore the width of the cable. There are obviously a whole load of different cable patterns. This is a really simple one, but it is one that you'll see used fairly often. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.